Let's go.
I hated that noise.
Abby, lock in. It's been 2 seconds.
What?
Wiggity wiggity, what's up, everybody on the Chocolate Cancel YouTube channel? How's it going tonight? My name is Aidan. I am your host today because I know the most about what's going on. Why doesn't everybody introduce themselves?
All right, listen here, Dan from Game Grumps. I don't know what kind of intro you just hit us with. Bro thinks we in a cafe. He thinks we in LeBlanc for real. God, how did I pick that up? Bro was too clean with it. I'm mad. Like he said, we got our host Aidan. We got Kayla, Xavier, me, Markus, and Abbey, the goat.
Damn, he just introduced us for us.
I know, that's fucked up.
Wow.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, bro.
Wait,
I'm sorry. Force a habit.
Mark.
I forgot. Brother, I don't know why you're allowing me on this. I'm the least PG.
Elementary
No,
squares.
it's okay.
I forgot. Uh-oh.
We are family friendly here, and we will only say the most childish of swears.
Uh-huh.
Like poopy.
Oh my gosh. You know what?
Anyway.
Aiden, I'm handing you the host stick. You're leaving this spot.
Oh, shizzy on my gritty. Let's go.
That's just gotta be a slur of the tongue, bro. What was that?
Brother, I am drinking tea.
I'm about to kick Aidan out, bro.
Don't worry. I have a cup of water next to me as well.
Oh.
All right. So to all the Hershey kisses out there watching this podcast.
I'm gonna kill myself.
What? They're more listening than watching because they can't see you're live.
Shh. They don't need to know that.
Yeah, they don't need to know that Aidan is currently live.
Yeah, so today we're making a tier list, but it's going to be more of an involved discussion. We're going to be ranking the video game consoles that we have the most experience with using. Basically just like, what we've played the most, the stuff that we know the most about. We're going to organize it into a tier list. You won't see it, but just know that it's there.
But I can probably just make the completed tier list a thumbnail.
You could do that.
Link in description.
No.
Yeah.
Link in description.
So I
follow our social medias down in the description. Let's get started.
I have a request first.
Oh.
Okay.
Can we let Kayla talk about the Sega Genesis? Because she actually played on it.
Oh yes, of course. Hold on. Let me find it.
Should we leave with
that?
that?
Not gonna lie, I won't talk about the PlayStation because, to be honest, that PlayStation and PlayStation 2 are kind of the same.
That's
Okay.
fair.
All right. So we'll start with Genesis since you brought it up.
So
I will say.
you go. It's your console.
Okay. So this game was kind of cool playing it. Not gonna lie, I only played 2 games on it, but I used to play those 2 games a lot.
I think that it should be A because it has Sonic Pinball.
Yes, 100%. And also Pac-Man Adventures. I think it's called
real?
Pac-Man Adventures.
Ooh, the adventures.
But I liked it because, not gonna lie, the game cartridges were cool. It literally looked like a VHS box. And they were just like the Game Boy cartridges, and you just put it in there. And like it didn't click or anything, it just sat there. I thought that was cool. And what is it called? The controllers. They were very simple. Like it was literally only like 3 buttons and the arrows. And that was like really it. And I liked that. It wasn't complicated.
I will agree. I think the Genesis controller is a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, me personally, I do also own a Genesis. It is sitting right next to me. I like the Genesis a lot. I think the one thing I like about it the most is the controller. It's so comfortable. The buttons feel nice to click. Like, it's a very ergonomic console, and I like that a lot. I mean, obviously, it started Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, amazing.
Peak.
A lot of fond memories of like Disney tie-in games with like the old 90s movies. Like,
Oh yeah, I have the Lion King game. I haven't played it though.
I was gonna say, y'all ever play like Aladdin for the Genesis?
I have
Like,
Lion King and Toy Story. Oh wait, I can
I played
actually
it on
get
the
up the games
DS.
I have for it.
like that was fun.
Where's my games? Oh, here they are.
It was some fun times. So I think Genesis, in my opinion, is like a very solid like B tier. I think it is like the perfect like the controller was good, the console itself was good, like it felt good to play. I just feel like the Genesis, especially compared to like the NES and like the SNES, just didn't have as many like it didn't have as many like IPs for you to be like, oh, that's a Genesis thing, you know?
It's
Like,
good for like if you want to play an old, I guess, retro game, but you don't want to commit to it.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it. So I feel like Genesis is like a solid B tier.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Okay, I got no opposition.
You got
Yeah,
no
the
opinion.
way that
I've
you
not
guys
touched nor
were
seen the
describing
console.
it makes it
I was
seem
gonna say you ain't got
delicious.
no opinion, so you ain't got no opposition.
No gamer.
I mean, Xavier, I have them all in my house, so like whenever you come over again.
He's gonna like put on the white gloves and like start inspecting it.
He's
Nah,
getting
it's just
pinball like a wedding.
for
I get
real.
all dripped out.
It's thrown in our gaming console drawer. It's fine.
We're gonna go backwards in time a little bit. The next console is the NES. I'll start with this one. NES was like the breakthrough, I want to say, for video games. If not Atari, it's this. It's the NES. I feel like
Definitely.
NES really, I think it really made video games like a household staple. Like if you were a kid in the 90s, you had an NES. Like you just did. Like that's what it was. I will say, once again, sitting right next to me, and I'm feeling one of the controllers right now. This is one of the worst controllers I've ever held in my life.
Yeah.
Nintendo has a very bad track record of making really bad like controllers.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. I promise you.
Oh,
but
good.
This might be one of their worst. I get it. It's your first. You'll never forget your first. But God darn it, I wish I could forget.
I don't like how he said it either.
I don't care.
He had to censor himself, bro.
I hate this controller with a burning passion. I want to know who thought that rough rectangular edges on a controller was a good idea.
I got no clue, bro. It's so bad.
Aside from the controller, because I'll be honest, the buttons on the controller do feel pretty good, but I can't get over the fact that you have to have Lego hands to use it.
No, you're so real for that, though. It is a very good console. I would say put it in B if the controller wasn't horrible.
I agree.
Because I've had no issues with it. Most of the games from that era didn't really have a good save feature, but you can't really blame that on the console itself. That's just how things were made then.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was one of the first consoles that introduced having to blow onto the cartridge to get the dust out. So
I know, right? That's a classic.
It kind of is, though.
That's where it all started. Excuse me. I also feel like I said when we were talking about Genesis, I just feel like you think of like the NES and you immediately like Mario, Zelda, Metroid,
Yeah.
Duck Hunt, if you feel so inclined. Like,
True.
So there's so many more classic games that people remember fondly from the NES than I think even.
Oh my god, it's the whole reason that the Contra code is real.
Exactly. Like Konami would be out of business if they didn't have their own code. Nobody would know their name. So yeah, I agree. Solid B tier. It's a great starting place, but please fix the controller.
Yeah, the controllers bring it down for me. Like, I would put it in a low B.
Which, speaking of, next up we have the SNES, which is on the complete opposite scale of controllers. I believe it is one of the greatest video game controllers ever made.
I haven't played the...
I will be biased.
Yeah.
I would just like to say, I don't have it anymore. But when I was into collecting retro consoles, I had the SNES, and this controller was so good that I bought an adapter to have it routed through to my PC.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
This controller made me feel so good. The buttons are great. The color scheme I think is really nice. I like the kind of
good colors.
I like the gray with like the kind of different shades of like indigo.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. It's kind of shaped like a dog bone, which I think is cool. Cause
my dad still has his SNES, and my brother still plays on it.
That's how timeless it is.
I haven't played it, but I do have one. So
the Switch was also they did release, I believe, that the SNES controller for the Switch when they were bringing out all their old games.
I think
That's
so.
how good it was. That's how good that controller was. They knew they had to release it again. Like, just it feels so good to hold.
Yeah, they did it with NES and an SNES as well.
Like, I just wish it was like a little bit bigger. Now that's me being biased, just because I have big meaty claws. But
You're
never say that again.
He's not wrong though.
Like, I feel like that's also an issue with Nintendo. Sometimes they don't get the size of their controllers.
Oh my god,
right
their controllers are so tiny, except for the N64 controllers.
Well, I feel like Nintendo has actually made the best controller ever made. Like de facto, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
They got that controller like immediately on the mark. But we'll stop that for now. I think SNES should go in A tier. Because it did everything the NES did, but better.
I agree.
Okay. I could see that, yeah.
I'm here for it.
I think it's a double in processing power with 16-bit. Like, again, super classic titles like Mario World. Chrono Trigger was on SNES. I will not stop talking about Chrono Trigger until people play it.
Mortal Kombat was on the SNES.
Yes.
One of the coolest game series, man.
It was. What did you say?
Akira Toriyama, bro. He worked for Chrono Trigger.
I do have Mortal Kombat on the Gen.
Like, it was. What a time to be alive. That I wasn't there for.
Not alive.
Exactly. Bro was cooking.
We were sperm, brother.
I wasn't gonna go that far.
Can we say that? Can we say that?
I don't know. Oh, figure that out.
I don't think you can say that.
His sperm and elementary square up there goes another beep. No, not again.
It's okay. Just stop talking. Just stop talking. Just don't say anything else. Whoever our editor for this particular episode's happened to be,
it's literally me.
We love. Oh, well.
That's why it's worse every time. It's literally me.
Cut this guy out.
I hope you look at your past mistakes and realize how much better
editor, cut his
of a
audio.
person you
Wait,
could
wait.
Next one, I feel like. I don't know how many of you have actually played N64, but I played this since I was like 5.
That is my console.
I have played here and there. I played Mario 64 on 64.
I've played the games, but I haven't played on the actual console. Like, I've played Mario Kart 64 and like all that type of stuff, but I never played the game, like the games on the actual.
It's honestly just an experience, man. Like, I don't like when you play like Mario 64. Ocarina was on there too, right? I'm not crazy.
Yes, Ocarina,
like
Majora's Mask.
Yeah, like 64. It's just it got some haters, man. Like the first time experience of playing 64, Mario on the 64, will be like the most astonishing moment of gaming in my life, bro. Like, I was doing it great, but like at a young age, just the complexity of something. Like it was game, and this was like what? Like I mean, obviously, like Mario 64 was recognized as just a what's the word for it? I guess it's like a generational just legacy.
A phenomenon.
Yeah, that's even better way of saying it. See, you get me, Aidan. You get me.
Listen, so N64 I will support until the day I die. That is the console that I played most growing up. They had Dora games on there. They got like Sesame Street games on there. I don't even know how that's possible, but they did it. Hexen was great. That was my childhood game. The Zelda games and Mario games are groundbreaking for their 3D technology, despite Z-targeting being the worst thing in existence.
Let's not talk
That
about
system being made and them making such a groundbreaking like thing with their 3D system, that changed the entire game of future generations of consoles. Like, it seriously did. Except the controller. Sorry, screw the controller.
And there we go. Editor, you know what to do.
We're very passionate, but I agree. I think this controller might be one of the worst controllers ever
Bro,
designed.
no one has 3 hands. I don't know what you want.
Amateurs. This is the Pro Smash controller, bro. This is the training wheel.
I think this. I'll say this now. I think the games on N64 are like iconic.
Yes.
Super Mario 64, groundbreaking. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, fabulous. Star Fox 64, come on, bro.
Dude.
Like Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie, Wave Race, Pokemon Stadium, like
Dude,
there's some good stuff on there.
Amazing game. Literally chef's kiss to the whole system.
But I cannot stand the controller and the console.
I don't understand why
I think it earns A.
Like that.
I think the console itself is also kind of finicky. I don't like. I'm not even going to talk about the controller. That's just like I don't know.
It's blasphemous.
Like that's just disgusting.
It's
but
an anomaly, bro. You gotta look at it like you're not real.
I don't like the way it plugs into the console. It doesn't click.
Okay.
That kind of ticks me off. It could also just be my N64 personally, but it never gives me like that satisfying click in the console, so it never feels secure. And plus,
like the Genesis.
Yeah. Dude, I don't like that.
We never unplug our controllers from the N64. They're just always there.
Never should.
No, literally.
And the only other thing I will say, it's a little funny to me that you need like an expansion pack for some games to even be like runnable. Like,
oh my god, yeah, it's so stupid.
But like, can you imagine being a kid in like 1995 and like you just got Majora's Mask and you're like, it's gonna be what's this red thing? Like, can you imagine like how confused some people must have been? Like,
I will say one of my only complaints about the N64 is that growing up, I always had troubles actually plugging it into the TV. Now, my TV's in a really awkward spot. It's like pushed straight up against the wall. Couldn't really move it to get the cords in place. But it's just three cords into TV. Not needed. This is too confusing. Brain don't work.
I think Nintendo 64 was like, it was needed. It was a generational leap. It was so important. It was amazing. The games are the best part about it. Everything to do with actually using the N64 is kind of doo-doo. It's kind of stinky.
Listen, I would still argue A because I have a lot of good memories on it, but I can settle for B on this.
I gotta say A because 64 changed the game.
Yeah, it had a lot of impact for future generations of games.
I will concede.
Okay.
I agree. I agree with the sentiments here.
Abby, do you feel the same?
I don't have much of an opinion on this one. So.
Okay,
Abby, come over. I got you.
The only one I'll really have an opinion about is the GameCube once it comes up.
Oh, don't worry. We're gonna.
I will say. Okay, but never mind. I was gonna say, let's not get too hung up on consoles. We are about 20 minutes in.
Nuh-uh.
Okay.
We're
I would say
literally
some
only
consoles
going to
isn't it?
wind up touching Nintendo. That's crazy.
Listen, man. It's just one of those topics.
Mhm.
Two-parter.
No way.
With the way we're going, maybe. I mean, listen, when we get to like
listen,
the
man,
Xbox, the PlayStation,
it's
the
your
Wii,
fault for making it this late at night.
That's
to
true.
be fair, I was trying to talk about 4 different consoles. You made this a tier list with everything.
I'd like everyone to know he wanted to talk about one generation and scheduled us at
Yes,
9:30.
I wanted to talk about modern consoles.
9:40.
Yes, I was going to talk about modern consoles. You, good sir, were like, oh no, we got to talk about everything. You pulled
You
out this
can't-
whole tier list with like over 10 consoles. I was going to talk about this new gen, how we
Dog.
feeling, what's better. I was
I'm
trying to make it a
sorry.
summarized discussion.
You
Can I point
can't.
out that you guys are spending more time arguing about the fact that you're wasting time than you are?
Nah, because I ain't no way I'm going to be putting this bad light and not fight back. I'm fighting for my life.
I was just gonna say, you cannot talk about the new consoles without bringing up the past, because a
Mhm.
lot of new consoles are shipped, but other generations are like better, in my opinion. You
Mhm.
know,
Well, I didn't get the
Exactly.
opportunity to bring that up.
Nuh-uh.
my bad for
I
being
didn't really have
right.
control of the situation.
Listen, at this point, for one of the consoles, I'm just waiting for GameCube to come up, bro, because I have something nice and quick for it.
It's
Okay.
coming up right after this one. But first, we have the Game Boy Advance.
Voice crack.
I cannot see the screen.
What do you mean?
Literally, I don't know if it's my Game Boy specifically. That screen is impossible to see on some games. I tried playing Metroid, literally
Oh.
could not see anything.
I thought you meant my stream. But yes, I agree.
No.
And there's a reason for that. It's because the original Game Boy Advance did not ship with the backlight,
Oh,
which
it's
is
so bad.
one of the worst decisions I think ever made.
Yeah.
Although it did keep a company afloat because they kept making bug lights for the Game Boy Advance, and you would just hang over top of it.
Oh my god.
I think Game Boy Advance is I think the second best handheld Nintendo's ever made.
Interesting.
It's
Really?
it is up there. I think Game Boy Advance, because you could play any Game Boy game on it, except for I think like Game Boy Pocket or something. I don't know, something stupid.
Yeah. It's like
Um,
most Game Boys or Game Boy
like-
games.
It was the definitive Game Boy, especially if we bring up like the Game Boy Advance SP. That clamshell design was so good that they used it again.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it could fit in your pocket, and you basically had an SNES in your pocket that you could just take out whenever you wanted. Like
Yeah.
that was cool. Like I mean, y'all know how much I preach the Mario and Luigi series. It started there. Like the art style of that game is perfect, and it's because it's on hardware that requires it to be more artistic. And I think a lot of GBA games are like that.
Yeah.
I think
definitely.
Game Boy Advance has beautiful games.
Dude, they really do.
Like the colors, dude. It was so good. Anybody
Except
play
Metroid.
Advance Wars?
No.
I had never touched this console.
Bro, the games we had are like the Dragon Ball Z games, maybe a Naruto one, got Zelda on there.
Legacy of Goku was good. I never played Zelda on the GBA, but I will say, speaking from experience with all versions of this, I think GBA is really good.
I get that. I've had no issues with it when I've used it, but I also haven't used it too much.
It's
And
very
it
comfortable.
It
I'll
goes
say
off
that.
of batteries, doesn't it? Like you don't have to plug
It does. It does.
Yeah.
I think that's its only downside.
I mean,
But-
I don't mind it either way. Batteries charging, they still die in the end. So, that got real dark. Sorry.
Wow.
Got
We
that-
all die at the end of the day.
Wow.
But it's like
Real-
I don't know what would last longer, a rechargeable battery compared to normal batteries, because the
That's
rechargeable
so
battery
real.
can get damaged when you can just
Yes.
take out batteries. So I don't know. I feel like that's a plus in the end.
I think in the long run, changeable batteries are better, but that's not what we're here to discuss.
Yeah.
I believe this is their second best handheld ever made. It's classic games. Like it was the go-to handheld for such a long time.
Yeah.
So I'd say B. I'd say it's a very good B tier.
Okay. I can get behind that, yeah. Like I said, no downsides to it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Besides the
Especially
screen.
like once they upgraded that backlight with
Yeah.
GBASP. Oh heavens.
The old heavens is crazy.
Next console. Kayla, go wild. We got the GameCube.
All right. I am very biased with this console because it was, other than the PlayStation 2, this was my very first console I've ever played on. So I have 3 games that I was obsessed with. Super Monkey Ball 2. I believe it was called 1080 Degrees Avalanche, which was a snowboarding game. Completely awful at it, but still fun. And Mario Kart Double Dash. The best Mario Kart game ever. I liked the GameCube because I liked how small and compact it was. Like it just felt like it was smaller than like all other consoles and stuff. And I liked that it was a cube and not rectangular.
That's fair.
I was saying earlier that I was biased with a controller. This is the controller that I'm biased with. It's one of the most comfortable controllers that I've held. And if you noticed with a lot of it is in the Wii, Nintendo consoles, they keep using the GameCube controller for all their other consoles. Like the Switch, they have the GameCube console, like the GameCube controller for the Switch. They have it for the Wii. They have it for the Wii U. Like all of the newer consoles, they use that controller. It's just so comfy and so smooth to use.
Exactly. I want to reiterate that this is the controller that I think is the greatest controller ever made.
Yeah, and one of the most iconic intros in a game.
Exactly. Bro, that I'm not even gonna try it because I can't do it. But
You actually did try it.
that sound, that startup sound is iconic. That's like just oh my goodness. GameCube, I think is easy S tier. The controller alone makes this S tier. It has
I like the bubble design.
It's so it makes me happy. It makes me very happy just to think about it. Like
I like that it looks like a cube.
That's fair. Very good observation.
It was also really nice that they also had wireless controllers as well.
Yeah, the Wavebirds. Oh. I love the Wavebirds.
Brother turned British for a second.
I'm sorry, but like GameCube, bro, one of my favorite games of all time is on the GameCube. Like we got Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion. Oh my god.
I also have one more thing. This is my last thing for it.
Okay.
I like that they were tiny discs. That they were very tiny.
That's fair.
Just the big discs or just like a cartridge. It was just like a tiny little disc. They were really cute.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna be a nerd, and I'm actually gonna say I didn't like that. That is, I think that's the one thing the GameCube should have done better, because everyone at this point was moving on to big discs because big discs could have more storage for their games, and it's the reason why I think PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast were just like they could do so much. Well, maybe not Dreamcast. But like, especially PlayStation 2 could just do so much like beefier, bigger, like more ambitious games, because GameCube, Nintendo, for whatever reason, decided to stick with mini disc, which is an inferior version of their game, of like that media. So, and I know why they did it. It's to prevent piracy. But like, dude, you're not going to protect it forever. You might as well just give up trying to protect your software for just making better software that people will want to buy. I don't like Nintendo. Anyway,
Listen,
I think GameCube is easy S tier. This console was so good. I'm mad that it didn't sell better.
Yeah, I never had a GameCube, but I had like the controller for the Wii and stuff. Somehow that is the controller that I managed to break the easiest. No idea how. It's just it works somewhat okay. I had like a chewing problem growing up and I chewed through the cord.
That's not funny. I don't. You had a problem and I laughed.
No, because
Sorry.
I use
messed
that
up.
controller for the Wii all the time. Like, if you want me to play Mario Kart with you, I have to use the
Grab that
the
GameCube.
It's so
controller.
good.
Like, it's just I'll have too much to say. We got to keep going, but like, just easy S tier. I think there's no debate on that.
That's fair.
Amen.
I know none of y'all touch Dreamcast.
Yeah,
None of you.
Nope.
literally
I
none
can
of
dream.
us.
There's a
Oh.
reason this was Sega's last console. D tier.
That's fair.
I'm sorry.
I kind of
but,
like the name though. Gets props for the name.
Okay.
Okay, it's my turn to cook.
Okay.
PS2 was my very first console where it just took over my life. I played Metal Gear Solid 2. That was like the first game I ever sat down and completed. There was also a racing game I played. It was like Midnight Racing, Midnight Sun. There was a
Oh my
bootleg
God,
3D Arena
FNAF
Fighter,
reference.
similar to Tekken, and there was a Sonic game collection. It had 1, 2, 3 pinball. It had like a bunch of Sonic games. It was like a whole collection. PS2 is one of my favorites. I personally believe this should be an A tier because for the Metal Gear Solid games alone. Because listen, man, Metal Gear Solid 2?
Don't forget God of War. War kind of
And the
started on
God
there
of War
too.
games. Like, and shoot, wait, Kingdom Hearts is PS2
Oh,
as well.
and
Yes.
Battlefront. Battlefront started on it.
Yeah.
PS2, like one of the PlayStation primes. Like, it's minimum A tier. Like the controller, I don't know how I feel about the controller.
It feels, I think, from playing on like the PS5 and the PS4 now, it just feels very small.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know,
Right.
there's a reason they've kept this like basic design for so long.
It was really
Right.
good. Like, growing up playing on it felt fine, but I guess just because of playing on the newer ones now, it just feels so small. But it was very good.
Yeah, I agree.
It was like I
think-
feel like I wasn't around when obviously I was around when it came out, but like for when I played it on, or when I first got into gaming, like the PS2 just like it was like an enlightenment, you know? It was like, oh, all right, I got free time. Oh, give me the PS2. Let me hop on
Yeah.
Metal Gear. Let me play this game. Like, I don't know. PS2 is just a special place in my heart.
That's so valid.
I
Good
would like
console.
to put PS2 in S tier next to GameCube.
I have say less.
Dude,
I agree with that, yeah.
I believe there's a reason this is the best selling console of all time. Because PlayStation. I just realized we skipped over PlayStation 1, but like nobody played that.
I played it, but technically I played more of the games on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that, but we didn't play it, so it's not a super big deal.
Oh God, I saw what's next,
Oh, don't worry about it. We'll get to it.
and I'm glad. No. You got to put the new one on here too.
Okay, so let's put PlayStation 2 in S tier. I believe
Yes.
some of the greatest games ever made were on PlayStation 2. Let alone the fact
yeah.
that it's just an amazing console. And also, I would like to point out, I think PlayStation 2 was also like not even just for gamers, but it was like the Wii before the Wii, because the PS2 was also like the cheapest DVD player you could buy.
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, because back in the day, this was when actual like DVD was like taking off, and so, but DVD players were so expensive. PlayStation 2, you were getting a DVD player and a video game console, so it was like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So I feel like that also boosted the sales, but even then, that's just another reason they were so smart. Like, I feel like Sony knew what they were doing. Nowadays, but like back then, they knew. They knew. Xavier, you want to start us off with this one?
Yes. So the reason why I particularly for those who didn't see, we have the original 360 and the Gen 2 360. I said we gotta make sure we put them both on because you get two whole different experiences.
Yeah, there's
depending
a
on which one
massive
you had.
difference. Yes.
I went through one 360. I owned a second 360 because I had an old black one. I was playing Gears of War, Halo. Like, dude, those two, oh, like, dude, I still remember when I got Halo 4, I had to do the installation the installation. Oh my gosh, the English is not real. I had to install all the like data you had to get into it before you even started the game. Halo 4, it was a beautiful experience. Gears of War, oh man, that was just
Gears of War was goated.
Gears of War 2 and 3, I believe are better than Call of Duty.
This is where Halo really got its start too. I think Halo was amazing.
The way
PS2
was popular was how it was for 360 because the next gen, like 361, like PS3, I like had a shine, but like I rarely saw PS3. You saw 360s. Everyone in the moment had a 360. However, with the old gens, all of those who know gaming all know the red ring of death.
I feel like that puts it at a
that's got to at least C. I would still say B because of the games.
But you weren't able to play them.
This is true. Listen, bro, nothing hit different than you playing the game and blue screen. Damn. Also, shout out to the censoring. Let me have my section, man. This is my passion. This is my home.
I'm sorry.
I've spoke for 20 minutes. Let me cook. I've been in the kitchen. I got oregano in the pocket. Let me in.
Your pocket.
I will say we're reaching a little over half an hour.
I know, that's what I'm trying to make it quick. But like that Red Ring of Death was just a whole mood. I at the time I lived with family friends and a lot of them like engineering projects. When we got that Red Ring of Death, we took the Xbox completely apart. We sat in front of AC fans because I had like 3 rings. It was like 3/4 of a ring, and the last like corner of it was blinking. So it was like, okay, there's hope. We were watching YouTube tutorials, everything, man, finding every solution. It was a mess. But I guess in retrospect, all right. I'll say I personally believe it should still be B because it really depended on what 360 you got lucky with.
Yeah.
The newer one. My bad.
I would say put the newer model in B.
Listen, man, the Kinect era?
No.
Now, listen, that may not be your demographic, but like for families, bro, when I tell you, with my dad's side of the family, every gathering we did, Dance Central or Just Dance was getting put in, and you getting 2-3 hours of gameplay. We were hitting the Usher. Oh my gosh! Every 2 weeks, meet up at the crew house. Just Dance Central was being played. Connect Adventures. What was the sports one?
Connect Sports?
Yeah, Connect Sports, like those games. Dude, my dad still plays it to this day. Like the Connect was what allowed it created a bridge to those very casual people. And if you wanted fitness, and Aidan, I don't know if you remember this one, but I'll never forget the Connect version of Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi.
Don't talk to me, bro.
I played that game through and through, and it crashed.
I can't believe you even
like the Kinect era was crazy. I know the PS3 did its own thing with that too, but like, the Kinect just did something, man.
Bro, I was 7 when I saw that game, and I knew it was trash.
The Xbox Kinect, I don't know. It worked when it worked. Xbox was solidifying its step out there.
Yeah,
especially with the Wii out at the time. Like I think that was like their attempt of trying to compete with it.
Yeah, I think the Kinect, when it worked. Like it was fun, It was good to use.
That's crazy.
But then there were games like, but then you had like the Sonic free riders of the bunch where like you don't even want to touch it.
Whoa. Calm down. Let's calm down. Are you serious?
No, I gotta say, bro. I tried playing Sonic Free Riders.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but you have to say it out loud. You couldn't say that after the podcast.
No. We'll talk about this later. I think either A or B is a good second gen 360 spot. To me it depends because I have a lot of memories playing 360. This is where I fully got into Sonic the Hedgehog. Like
No,
Sonic
same.
Unleashed, Sonic
06.
Generations. That was my jam. That was my jelly, my peanut butter. Make that a
I
sandwich.
kind of want to put it in A because where we're going next with Xbox is probably the highest going to go, depending on how we go about this.
Like, yeah, I think the controller also bumps it up. Xbox 360 is just so comfortable to hold.
Those controllers, man.
Oh, it felt so
You
good.
and controllers.
Bro,
It's
controllers
important.
can
It
make
It
or
is
break.
very important.
Yeah, it's an
and that's fine,
extremely
and that's fine.
important part.
I'm not dissing controllers. I'm dissing the way that he's going controllers. Like it's
I-
weird.
Aiden does
I
talk about
have a
controllers like an X.
fixation.
We know. Calm down.
Controllers are my passion.
They are. I watched Got the Waz like one time.
Holy Scott.
Scott, please DM us. We love you.
We love you.
Oh God. DS. Oh goodness gracious.
I love that. Listen. The shining, like, whatever you want to call it, the tip of the ice cream cone here, whatever the like saying is. No. Sorry, the cherry on top. There we go. That's what I was thinking. Shut up. You can play Game Boy games on DS.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be specific. On everything that's not the DSi.
Well, you can't do it on 3DS either.
Mm-mm.
Well, that's 3DS.
And-
I think is its own thing right now.
And
We have the DSi as its own separate thing, Aiden. I'm sorry to tell this to you.
I'm aware. I'm talking about 3DS. I think 3DS is its own thing that we'll get
No,
to later.
Markus
I
was just
said-
referencing. Ugh.
yeah,
Oh, my bad.
Regardless.
Aiden just hates the DSi. That's all.
No, I don't.
Seriously.
I have a lot to say about the DSi.
We
Yeah,
can
We're gonna
tell.
keep it for Aiden.
you can chill.
All
All right,
It's
Markus,
okay.
continue.
Yeah, I think that one of the best things about the DS and what I believe makes it a great console is that not only you can play DS games on it, but you can also play through Game Boy games on it, which makes it incredible because like yes, Game Boy Advance game like all of them amazing consoles. However, just being able to have one for two different types of games, it makes it so easy in my opinion. So I think it's a great console.
I agree with that. Not even just because of like the GBA backwards compatibility. That was real nice. But like, dude, especially like the early era of DS games, the dual screen like usage was so cool.
Dude, it was so good. They were really like they got real creative with some of these usage. Like seriously.
Yeah. I like the ones where like I think it was Yoshi's Island DS where like you can see like portions of the level up top and like you would have to like if you were like throwing an egg, you would have to like look up at the top screen and like it would just interact with the bottom.
My favorite thing about the DS Zelda games is that I believe it's in Phantom Hourglass. You literally have to close the system itself and reopen it to transfer something onto your map, like it's stamping. And I think that's wonderful.
That is some of the coolest stuff I've seen with it. Like
Though the microphone sucks.
well, that's been a thing since forever. I think every
It's
microphone
so
on
bad.
every Nintendo console. Y'all remember the GameCube microphone accessory?
Yeah.
Oh my god, didn't they try to make one for N64 and they just couldn't get it to work?
Yes. It was so good. But like I think DS had some of the most nostalgic games for me.
Yeah.
As a wee lad playing in the back seat of the car while like going on like a 2-hour drive on vacation or something, or like you're just like chilling out at like a family barbecue that you just don't want to be at. You whip out the DS, you're like, all right, time for some Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. Kill some time. Like it just like you could. I feel like the DS is like. I feel like there's no handheld that beats what the DS offered at the time.
Yeah.
Like and there wasn't a risk because everyone was so hooked on GBA. Well, now you can play it on DS. Like, with the original DS. Like,
Yes.
the original DS, and I'll even say the DSi, which I believe is a worthless upgrade for internet usage, but that can be
Rude.
debated. But I think every version of the original DS is S tier. Every
Yes.
one of them.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Like, you could ask anyone our age, right? Like, go up to someone from like 9th grade to college. You ask them what their favorite DS game was, they're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, New Super Mario Bros. For DS," or like, I don't know. Maybe you're someone who's into Mario versus Donkey Kong. I don't know. Maybe you're weird.
You always bring up Mario.
Mine wasn't just Mario. I had a lot of non-Nintendo games that I really liked, like there was a Strawberry Shortcake game that I actually never defeated,
Oh my
and I
god,
actually
Hello
started.
Kitty.
Yeah, I also had a Monster High game that was really fun. Like the Nintendo DS, which I'm gonna say DSi because it looks like Aidan was almost skipping over it, was a great console because with the DSi, I felt like I could do more than the DS, and I did have a DS, but I more remember the DSi. But like being able to like record stuff and doing the videos, and then they had like the brain games on there, and even Flipnote. Like it was just fun that they had like
great.
more on there.
Yeah, I will agree. All of those things are great, and the licensing that Nintendo like signed up for to have those games be made into DS games, absolutely like incredible. That was the right choice in my opinion.
Yeah. I think some of the games they made for it too were just like massive flexes.
Oh, seriously.
Dude, Mario 64 running on like can you imagine seeing Mario 64 for people who were so nostalgic about that game and they're like, "Oh my god, it runs on this level?"
And
Yeah,
also
seriously.
they also had the mini games with Mario 64, which I used to play all the time, especially the casino games. But we're not going to talk about that.
Blackjack Luigi gave me a gambling addiction.
Real.
But yeah, easy S tier, DS goated. Like, speaking of goated, by the way, next up is the Wii.
Yeah,
before we continue, I need a group opinion. Should we, because seeing the pace, this is going to be a long podcast. Should we talk about the Wii, pause this as one recording, and then record the part 2? Like we would just stop recording, then record again.
We should do that.
Yeah, we can do that. I don't mind either way.
Sorry, I'm just counting how many consoles we have to discuss.
Especially that like a lot of them have been going on for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a two-parter.
I'm debating if we just finish out this generation first and then move on. But
no, we're gonna hit over an hour if we do that, especially with the Wii. Like the Wii's gonna hit us over an hour.
Well, that's
I know
not
for
bad,
a fact.
I mean, if we just finish up the PS3 and PSP and then stop.
That's what I was thinking, you know, keep it
because those will be generally short, realistically.
Yeah. Because I think PS3 and PSP are going to be brought in one discussion anyway.
Then I guess just overall, just make it short with what we're talking about.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry, that's going to be hard. I love the Wii too much.
The Wii is not a part of that section.
Okay, good. I was about to say I could literally like give so many praises to the Wii just for existing. In my opinion, I think it's better than GameCube. I've never owned a GameCube. I will say that.
Amen.
But I just think that it's better than GameCube because of, you know, the opening screen. You could have YouTube. There was a shopping network. There was so much stuff that you were able to have on the home screen itself, not even including the games that you could put into it, because it ran both Wii and GameCube games. Like, overall, it's just a goated console. Though, I will say, controllers are very fickle.
Yeah.
No,
I liked, as I grew up with the Wii, so as learning how to be a person and use my hands to play a video game, I thought the Wii controller was very good, especially for me as a young age.
Even with motion controls, that was a big thing. The Wii was the family's console because I remember when we got it because I think my brother was only a year old, and like that's like the most other than the DS. This is like the most games we have to date.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very good
Steam.
console.
I almost said Steam.
Steam.
I'm so sorry.
Bro?
The Wii. The Wii was like. Wii might be my favorite console I've ever played on because it was like I feel like the memories that I've made with my family, my friends playing a Wii is like it's untaintable. Like I remember playing New Super Mario Bros. Wii with my family 4-player for the first time, and nothing will beat the smile on my face throwing every single one of them into a bottomless pit.
Oh,
Like,
All right,
dude.
psychopath.
Dude, Wii Sports though?
Wii Sports,
Oh.
the Mii's. Can we talk about the Mii's?
Dude, I
Mii
love the
customization
Mii's.
was peak of my life.
Oh my god.
Like this is like the generation's like console because this especially is like always the like technically memeable and like the most humorous like that you see in I guess pop culture, like the most pop culture console.
To this day, you still getting memes from Wii Bowling.
Yep.
I still
music-
play Wii Bowling.
Yes, seriously.
I listen to the music all the time because the music's soothing.
This is like the console that when I heard that they were gonna shut down the shop for the Wii. Actually, wait, before I say that, they did shut down the shop for the Wii, right? I'm not imagining
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
okay.
definitely shut down.
Yeah, I heard that, and I think I was more distraught about that than hearing it for the 3DS. Like, it was just such a good console.
Yeah, like, and plus the Wii was like, aside from like 360 and PlayStation 3, like, the Wii was like that family media center too. Because like, as much as I would say that I don't think anybody took the time to use it, they had a Weather Channel, they had a news channel, like they had activity logs, like there was just so much more stuff to do, even just beyond gaming. Remember when you could stream Netflix to your Wii?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
good times.
dude, it was so cool. You could order food through the Wii. I forgot I could do that.
You could do that.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
that's funny.
There was a channel where you could order. I think it was like, it might have been Pizza Hut. I forget.
Pizza
but
Hut
like, yeah, you could order it through the Wii, and I think that was kind of funny. But like, it just shows
amazing.
like how much usage there was.
That is literally the family console.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! And it was the start of Nintendo's Virtual Console.
Right. Yeah.
Like, bro, it was the answer to everyone's prayers. Cause like, sure, you had GameCube backwards compatibility in there, so that wasn't a big deal. But like, all those people who were like, "Oh, I kind of miss Mario 64," or like, "Oh, I'm feeling a little too upbeat today. I kind of want to cry playing some Mike Tyson." Like, there it was on the Virtual Console, and like,
can
it
we
was
just
so
bring the Wii back?
The Galaxy.
Oh my god, Galaxy.
Skylanders, bro. Like, oh.
Dude, it was
Spyro's
so
Adventure!
Oh,
Bro, weren't the Lego games like made for this console?
Yeah.
Yeah, your Lego Batmans. Dude, Marvel was getting it. There was a Ben 10 game. They had everything, bro.
The complete saga was the best.
Yeah, literally, Star Wars, Harry Potter, love those Lego
Pirates
games.
of the Caribbean was on there.
Indiana Jones.
Yes.
All right, the Wii's is guaranteed. Honestly, bro, you can put that in the front of S. You can't even
that
put
is
it
like
in the back.
top of S tier.
Wait.
Should we give it its own tier?
I can't just leave it. I can't leave the Wii segment without at least mentioning one time. Disney Epic Mickey 1 and 2 were both released for the Wii console.
Okay.
And I'd like to make it known to everyone on the internet that watches this. Disney Epic Mickey is the most underrated gem ever created. And the fact that it's getting remade actually makes me feel like a toddler being born because I'm so happy.
Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on. We're ending it there.
Just want to put that out there.
I think you should go
All
into
right.
Kayla's feminism class.
Oh my god. All right, we got PS3 and PSP.
Epic Mickey is a true demonstration of feminism. Sorry, what are we doing?
Aidan, please.
All right, PS3.
We're hitting an hour.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
I was gonna say I don't think there should be a time limit, especially since it's a podcast. I think we just get this done and then we record part 2.
That's just the idea. That's what we gotta keep going. So
That's what
PS3,
I'm trying to say. We're hitting an hour.
we good. We good. Anyone have a strong opinion? PS3, I played like a Rayman game, and that was it. Like maybe GTA, but nothing like PS3 exclusive. That's like, yeah, this console's awesome. Because if I wanted to have a good experience, I just go to the
Is it?
360.
Isn't it also backwards compatible with 2?
I think
Well,
it was.
here's the thing.
Mhm.
It's some
have-
games, right?
I have the original PS3. Now, there is a difference between all 3 of these. The original PlayStation 3, I'm going to give a quick little history lesson. I promise I'll make it quick.
Mhm.
The original PlayStation 3 was tremendously bad because it is the best PlayStation 3 console, but it's the worst price and it was marketed the worst way. Because
great.
the PS3 on release, I believe 2006, this console was $600.
What?
Oh, that's more than the PS5 on launch. What?
Bro,
This
I
was-
don't even think the Switch was that much.
And this was for like 48 gigabytes of storage.
Oh
Was
my god.
$600.
Yeah,
The base
no.
model was still $500.
Yeah, no.
Think of that in 2006 money. You
That's
were basically
crazy.
spending a small fortune to get a PlayStation 3. And the only reason it was that expensive, 1, full backwards compatibility with PlayStation 1 and 2. Secondly, the amount of card slot readers in this thing is nasty. Like, I have it right here for reference. I can read you this off. What is that big rectangular slot doing in my console? No one uses that kind
My
of memory card anymore.
No,
What
literally.
is that? Like, no one used half the stuff that they crammed into this console. And that's what made it do so bad.
I would just like to say something real quick. The price of the original PlayStation 3 in today's money would be like $923.
That's a bit much. A little bit. I
It's a
would
bit much.
say that's a bit much.
Yeah, a bit much. Yeah.
And sure, it could play Blu-rays, which is like a new thing. Blu-rays was like just starting to come out and like, blah, blah. But like, dude, like the original PlayStation 3, I love it. I've had it since it came out. I love the backwards compatibility and everything you can do with it. But even I have to admit, I think this PlayStation 3 is on the same level as like, maybe it's above the Xbox 360 base model. But this console was booty cheeks.
I still feel like it should go in like a low C then. Or a high C, I mean.
I think it goes above the 360, but it's
Yeah.
definitely a C. Now, the
Yeah.
remodels.
I
This-
think I have a 3, but I'm not sure.
This
I'm really not
slim
sure.
model right here, I don't know if y'all can see that well enough. This one right here is like the de facto PS3 that most people have. And this was like the PS3 Renaissance. Because at this point, 360 had won by a landslide. In terms of PlayStation 3 versus Xbox, Wii was already winning.
Yeah.
So, PlayStation did it smart. They rebranded and remarketed the PS3 and took out all the unnecessary crap that they stuffed inside of the original one.
Yeah.
Now, yes, you lost PS2 and PS1 backwards compatibility, but bro, it was like $200 cheaper now. They got rid of all the dumb memory card slots that nobody used,
Amen.
and it was just it was a slimmer console. It was smaller. It could fit in places easier, and that's what made it so good. I think the second model of the PS3 is A tier, right next to the Xbox 360. These two, immaculate consoles, and it's the two that you'll most see people playing from that generation.
Yeah.
And then we get to the awkward little sibling. This thing is a disgrace to humanity. The top loader PS3 is nasty. I don't know if any of you own this thing, but it was another revision of the PlayStation 3, which honestly wasn't needed. We didn't need one. But it took away more features, I believe, and it now, instead of inserting the disc like a normal human being, you had to load it by swiping this little cart in front of it like it's a train car. Like you just slide it open like it's a barn, and you just
leave it alone.
and you
It's
put the
trying.
disc in there. Like, it's so flimsy and, like, disgusting looking. Like, it's so weird looking. Other than that, it's a PS3, but, like, I just think it looks gross.
That's fair.
So, I think this is the hierarchy. Second PlayStation 3, immaculate, A tier. First one, kind of doo-doo. Third one, you're the middle child for a reason.
Okay.
All right, I can't argue with that.
All right.
Anyone play the PSP?
Yes, I owned it. That was the second console I owned.
Okay, you go ahead.
They had a Benton. They had a bunch of games up in there. It honestly, I would put it in B because it was a nice handheld. They had good games. They had a Ben 10 game in there that was fire. They had Call of Duty games like they had their own version of World War. It was they also had the complete saga. Luke's what's it called? The
Lego
the
Star
OG
Wars,
complete saga with Luke Skywalker's movies, with the New Hope saga. You know what I'm talking about. They had that on the PSP with a couple of prequel bonus fights. That is the only reason I know about Star Wars before watching the shows was because I beat that entire game. That game taught me the Star Wars lore, so I knew all the lines and all that. Nope. Her. That's all I knew. That's all I needed to know. I understood the lore. But I personally put it at B.
I mean, I didn't get to play it. This is one of those consoles that I just don't have an opinion on.
That's fair.
But yeah, I'd agree with you, Sid. I think it's a B.
Alrighty. All right, folks at home, we are now going to, as you heard us bicker about, we're going to end this part. Continue in part 2. We got a lot of headbox, Xbox One, Series X, 2DS, 3DS, Switch, Wii U, PlayStation 4, and Pro, Series S, Series X, PlayStation 5, PC, and Steam Deck.
Shit, guys, I'm not gonna make it.
All right. If I hit stop recording, does it work?